awesome artisanal ketchup. Hey, I'm here with Bruce Steinberg of Fine Vines Artisanal Ketchup, and as you can see, I'm tasting the product. I gotta tell you, I got the best job there is. We get to go on location for Top of Mind, and we're here today in the shared kitchen of the Innovation Center, and I'm meeting with Bruce, who's an incredible entrepreneur and has a great story of this, gourmet ketchup. Would that be a fair description?
Yes, but it takes ketchup to another role beyond being gourmet. It's artisanal, and the intent is to just literally change the ketchup market.
You know, the ketchup market, to hear you use that phrase, and we met earlier over at the Kauffman Foundation, you were mentioning how you are ostensibly reinventing like a stagnant, condiment, namely ketchup. You were saying there's hardly any choices and options compared to something like mustards. How did you get to that epiphany that you saw that market opportunity?
When I started making the ketchup, it was at home, basically an outgrowth of my evolution in barbecue after moving to Kansas City, and using ketchup for things like barbecue sauces and baked beans. You come to realize that if you are looking at your ingredients, the weakest link is actually the ketchup. So I started making some ketchup and then evolved it to go with a broader range of foods. And in the back of my mind, right from the beginning, was the notion that the ketchup market is rather one-dimensional. You have a number of brands and house brands, but they all have a very similar flavor. Even if you buy an organic one, they taste rather similar. So, and the flavor profile is very sweet, but not so strong on tomato or seasoning. And so you're adding sweetness, not flavor, to food.
Now that's a key distinction here.
Yes.
Only somebody that's a foodpreneur would understand to say you're adding sweetness but not flavor, because I think for the uninitiated, sweetness is a flavor, isn't it?
Perhaps so. But,
okay.
but what I'm looking at with this product is the prominent flavor is tomato. And secondarily, an evolution of seasoning as it goes around your mouth. I had a large professional buyer that they say it transforms in your mouth. So
it does. I'm a bit of a wine snob, right? And I like it for a lot of those reasons. The bouquet and how it opens and tastes differently. I almost am challenged to even call this ketchup. I don't know what. Of course it is because the tomato being the base, but this is just kind of changed my whole notion. And then I look at all the flavors that you have here from, the truffle, the sweet, the lemon twist, habanero, grill smoke. Tell me about what motivated you to come up with this, these number of options in the ingredients, because I know, we spoke earlier about, the emphasis you placed on ingredients. How does that evolve? How does that get you to be where you're at with that?
So the analogy to wine is rather apropos. The name Fine Vines connotes something about wines as well as tomato vines. And the idea behind that name is the fact that the flavors pair well with foods, like wine, and there are choices of flavors to pair with different foods, like wine. So the whole branding of this is designed so that the flavors become the prominent feature. That's why the labels are designed the way they are. And so that when consumers see this range of flavors on the shelf, they immediately start to think about what do those flavors go with and how can I use that in my kitchen, either as a serving on the side with a sandwich or to cook with or to dip with or to finish a grilling process. So the whole notion of that, like a wine, is very much the thought behind this product.
And I got to tell you, that's brilliant. That really is brilliant, because as you were saying that and the motivation behind it, I start thinking to myself, typically you think of ketchup, you think of basically two applications, right? Hamburgers, hot dogs, well, maybe French fries. But now I look at this and think, wow, lemon twist. I've never thought to put, let's say, ketchup, let alone something as tasty as this, on something like fish, or complement somebody. You could actually offer pairings.
Yes. So the thought we had with the lemon twist was some kind of a white fish, like a tilapia, let's say, or a halibut. And it can be used as a sauce on the side. It can be used as a finishing glaze for cooking. And it makes a terrific cocktail sauce for shrimp.
Oh, I bet it would. I really bet it would. So, we're surrounded by your product in various states. We have this little labeling making. We have this. I saw back on the back side of the kitchen here, big, is that a 50-gallon drum?
50-gallon drum
Of
apple cider vinegar, sourced right here in Kansas City.
Really? Now why? Is that just because of convenience that it was local, or was there some other motivation that you selected the vinegar that you did?
Convenience is a factor because of shipping costs, but the more prominent factor was flavor. This product is all about flavor. Ingredients are key, and how it gets cooked is key, which is partly why I'm doing it here in terms of being able to control the entire process. But when I first was developing the product, I was using a branded organic apple cider vinegar that was very expensive and too expensive to use as an ingredient. But I wanted the flavor that I was getting, and so I sourced samples from every vinegar manufacturer in the country. There are some that are huge that actually produce for many other brands. And the company that I'm using now is actually producing the apple cider vinegar here in Kansas City, but the flavor profile is more prominent, tasting with apple flavor, as well as a softer acidity. And so that changes the nature of the product. It doesn't have as high of an acid note in the mouth. It's more mellow and evolves in flavor. And that apple cider vinegar makes a difference. Another reason for using apple cider vinegar, other than flavor, is that it makes the product 100% gluten-free.
That's important in today's dietary restrictions.
Yes.
You were mentioning kind of how it evolves in flavor. I want to talk for one moment about evolving the business. I think we were first introduced to you at another Kauffman program that we run called 1 Million Cups, where you were able to present at the foundation, or it wasn't even a demo day maybe, that you were able to present. I'm wondering if I could ask you in a shameless plug for things that we do at the foundation, like what was that experience like for you, presenting it on a large stage, large forum at a place like the Kauffman Foundation?
So the Kauffman Foundation has played quite a bit of role for me in that I moved to Kansas City because I was with a company that actually bought the Marion Legacy organization. And so worked through this merged organization and certainly became well aware of the legacy of the Kauffman family and all that they've done for Kansas City. When I started this business, I did the Fast Track program and found it to be excellent at the UMKC site. And then was asked to present at Demo Day back in June of 2012, which I believe was the first demo day that was conducted there, and so presented, and it was a great experience. Lots of people gave some feedback. The Kansas City Business Journal picked up on a great online article titled "I Want to Do for Ketchup what Great Coupon Did for Mustard."
This points out a very common thing, that story that I find in interviewing entrepreneurs like yourself, that serendipity plays a big part of it.
Yes.
Certainly we've met with several other foodpreneurs like yourself here at the Shared Kitchen today. And I just want to thank you for the time you make, and I want to say let's aspire to have you as the next great coupon of the ketchup industry, because I think this is going to revolutionize, as you've said, an old condiment that's being rethought in a clever way. That's what entrepreneurs do.
Thank you.